Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about electrical circuit. So the topic for electrical circuit, you can find it on physics, Kretkov. You can also find it on electrotechnics, and for that if you're doing netted program. So we're just going to go through the basics on how you can tackle the questions that can come in your examination, or also have a better understanding on how to solve the series circuit and also how to solve the parallel circuit. So, without wasting much of your time, let's start. All right, okay. So, as we said, the first thing that you're supposed to know on electric circuit, as I said, it is there on physics, and then on electro and for it is called principles of electricity. You're supposed to know about the current, the voltage, and the resistance. So we know a current being built with negative charge is being attracted to the positive side, and your current is measured in amps. And you also have the voltage. So on the voltage is up to divided into two. You have what we call the potential difference, which is PD, and then you also have what we call the EMF. So these will touch more when we go to the series resistors, whereby we'll be talking about the supply. So for now, you're supposed to know that the potential difference is the voltage that you find inside your circuit, while is the EMF is your supply voltage, but both of them they'll be measured in volts. So your potential difference it will be in volts, and then your EMF it will be also in volts. Okay, and then you also have what we call the resistors. So the function of resistors, they oppose or they reduce the current flow. They oppose or they reduce the current flow. So this is the symbol of a resistor. Okay, so you also have what we call the Ohm's law. The Ohm's law. So the Ohm's law it says that the current it is directly proportional to the voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance. And you also have the factors which can affect your resistance, which goes with the following formula, which can be the cross sectional area, the temperature, the resistivity of your material. Okay, you can have the formula. This is R is equals to PL divided by A, which is to calculate your resistance, which is measured in ohms. It will be the resistivity multiplied by the length divided by the area. And then your formula to calculate the area, it will be pi d squared divided by 4. So you can use this formula to calculate your resistance. You can also have the formula to calculate your resistance when it's being affected by the temperature by saying RO, which is the initial resistance, open bracket 1 plus this one we call the temperature coefficient, and differs according to each material, and then the change in temperature, whereby you can calculate your change in temperature, which is going to be the final temperature minus the initial temperature. All right, okay. So this is the first basics that you're supposed to know. The other thing that you're also supposed to know, you must know how to define what we call a conductor. So what we call a conductor, these are material which allow the electricity to flow, and you also have what we call the insulators. These are material which doesn't allow the electricity to flow. And then we also have what we call the semiconductor materials. These are type of material which allow electricity to flow, but only in smaller units or in smaller quantities. So you have a conductor, the insulator, and then also the semiconductor. So let's jump into the arrangement of resistance, which is the series, the parallel, and also the combination of series and parallel. Okay, so let's start with the series resistors. So when we talk about the series resistors, that's when you are given resistance connected one after the other. For example, the circuit that I'm just drawing. Okay, so this is an example of a series circuit. Let's say this is the first resistance, second resistance, and third resistance. Okay, so I said whenever you are given resistance connected one after the other, we say this resistance they are connected in series. And to find the total resistance of this circuit, I can say RT, which is the total resistance, is equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So we are simply saying if you are given series circuit, you're just going to add to find your total resistance. And the other thing that you're supposed to know when it comes to a series circuit is that The current which flows on a series circuit is the same. So we are saying the current through this first resistance R1, the current through R2, the current through R3 is the same. Hence, I can say IT is equals to I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I3. So we're simply saying the current which flows on a series circuit is the same, but the voltage is not the same. Hence, here I can have V1, V2, and V3, and here to be V2, which is the supply voltage or the total voltage. So in order for me to find my VT, it will be V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay, so since we are saying the voltage is not the same, if they ask you to find the voltage drop across each resistance, so you can have the voltage across R1, which is V1, whereby we're going to say it's IT multiplied by R1, which is the total current multiplied by R1. If I want V2, it will be IT multiplied by R2. If I want V3, it will be IT multiplied by R3. Okay, whereby you can calculate your IT from the Ohm's law, which is VT, which is the total voltage, divided by RT. So these have to do with a series circuit. So whenever you are given a series circuit, this is the formula that you're supposed to know. These are the formulas that you're supposed to apply. Okay, so let me just move to the side and then we can talk about the parallel. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we can also have what you call a parallel circuit. So a parallel circuit, that's when you're given resistance connected on top of each other in this way. Okay, let's say this is R1, this is R2, this is R3. Okay, let's say you're given the supply voltage here. Okay, so there are different ways that you can find your total resistance. So for me to find my total resistance on this, I can use this formula which says RT, which is the total resistance, is equals to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. Or you can use this another one which says 1 over RT is equals to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. Please note this formula is not saying RT is equals to this. So whatever you are going to get is not your final answer since it's saying 1 over RT. Okay? Or you can use this one you can only use it when you're given two resistance in parallel. If there were only two, I was going to use R1 times R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so this one I can only use it. That's if I'm given two resistance in parallel. And then the other thing that you should know about a parallel circuit, the voltage which flows on a parallel circuit is the same. Hence, we can say VT is equals to V1 is equals to V2 is equals to V3. But the current is not the same. Hence, I can say I1 is equals to VT divided by R1, and then I2 it will be VT divided by R2, and then let's say it's I3, it will be VT divided by R3. So this is how you find your current, and you can use the current lower by the say the current flowing towards the junction is going to the current flowing away from the junction. Hence I can say IT is equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So this is the concept that you're supposed to know when it comes to the series circuit and then to the parallel circuit. Hence, you can use these formulas that I gave you for the series, these formulas that I gave you for the parallel to do any example which will be given from your textbook or any example which will come in your exam. Thank you. See you on another video.